Have you ever felt like you're just completely stuck? Navigating all this stress and shame or just that heavy feeling that life is working against you? Well, today, we're going to dig into an ancient four-step rhythm that's designed for those exact moments. It's a powerful strategy, and it comes from a pretty surprising place.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll talk about that heavy why me feeling. Then, we'll jump back in time to look at a king's major crisis to find a really powerful mental shift he made. From there, we'll pull it all together into a practical rhythm for resilience and figure out how to find peace before we even have all the answers. All right, let's jump right in.
So first up, let's just acknowledge a feeling that I think we all know. That moment when the challenges just keep piling on and it feels like all your best plans have just fallen apart.
You know that feeling, right? It's that exhausting sense that you're in this constant uphill battle. It's this core belief that life is happening to you, not for you. And you're just stuck in this loop of putting out one fire after another. Psychology actually has a name for this. It's called a victim mentality or learned helplessness. Now, it is so important to hear this. This is not a character flaw. Not at all. It's actually a protective response our brains learn over time, but it's a response that can really keep us stuck. And this is what it sounds like in our own heads. Do any of these phrases sound a little familiar? When this becomes our go-to script, we're basically just handing over our personal power, our agency, and that really limits our ability to grow through whatever life throws at us.
Okay, so with that feeling in mind, I want to take you back to an ancient story. It's about someone who had every single reason to feel this way, a really powerful king who found himself at rock bottom.
The context here is just everything. See, King David wasn't just having a bad day. He's a king who's lost his entire kingdom. He is literally running for his life. And get this, it's from his own son. This was a crisis on every level. Personal betrayal, public humiliation, the total destruction of his reputation.
The story says his head was covered, which was a public symbol of grief and deep shame. But what makes this moment even heavier, even more painful, is that David knew that this whole crisis was partly the consequence of his own past mistakes. So the shame, it wasn't just from his circumstances, it was personal.
So right there, in the middle of this shame spiral, David makes a choice. It's a conscious mental shift, a pivot that completely changes his perspective and ultimately his entire response to the crisis.
Look, we can't always control our circumstances, right? A flat tire, a tough situation at work, a personal betrayal, that stuff happens. But what this shows us is that we can control the story we tell ourselves about it. We can choose to change the lens, to shift from seeing life as happening to us to maybe asking how could be working for us.
This one word, but, that is the entire pivot point. It's everything. David doesn't deny the crisis, the danger is real, his enemies are real, but he chooses to interrupt that spiral of fear and reframe the whole moment by focusing on God's presence right there inside of it.
And that's what we mean by reclaiming agency. That shift from, why is this happening to me, to you are with me, that is such a powerful move. It's taking back ownership. It's choosing where you're going to place your focus and your trust, even when everything feels like it's falling apart. Now this pivot, it isn't just a random, one-time thought. It's actually the key that unlocks a super practical, four-step rhythm for building resilience no matter what crisis you're facing.
And this is it, the Psalm 3 rhythm. Acknowledge, turn, rest, and wake. Notice it's not about instantly fixing the problem. No, it's a repeatable pattern, a way to process hardship by moving from honestly facing reality to finding this deep, grounded peace right in the middle of it.
This is absolutely wild when you think about it. A fugitive king, a man whose life is in immediate danger, lies down and sleeps. Not just passes out from exhaustion, he lies down and sleeps in peace. This just proves that real peace has nothing to do with our problems being solved.
So, the big question is, how does this ancient rhythm actually apply to us? Especially on those days when our faith feels, kind of weak or imperfect or just full of fear. Well, this is where it gets really practical.
This is all about having present faith, not perfect faith. See, perfect faith tells us, I shouldn't feel afraid. But present faith is so different. Present faith says, I feel terrified, but I'm going to choose to trust anyway. It's the decision to trust God in the presence of our fear, not waiting for it to be absent.
And David's story shows us something so crucial.
Even when our own mistakes and failures add to our suffering, God's grace isn't canceled out by the consequences. He's still a shield, still a sustainer, and still the one who can restore our dignity.
So you can see how it all just clicks together, right? An ancient story of failure gives us a modern psychological framework for taking back our power. And that framework gives us a practical, spiritual rhythm for finding peace in our real, everyday challenges. So here are the big things to take away from all this. Your true power is in your response. Peace is possible long before your problems are gone. God's presence is a shield that meets you right in the middle of the mess. And He can lift your head even after failure and shame. Remember, it's always about progress, not perfection. And that leaves us with this final thought to just kind of chew on. If real peace isn't about waiting for some perfect, problem-free life, then how can we start practicing this rhythm and find a piece of that peace right where we are, today?